Ciao, fellow travelers, or I guess I should say Grüß Gott, fellow travelers. Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're here in Bolzano, Italy, for what you should eat when you come to Bolzano, or Bolzen in German. And what you need to know is when you come here, this city was actually part of Austria until after the First World War. So you actually have a huge influence of Germanic culture and Austrian culture here in Bolzano. And so you'll see that in the architecture, in the people, and especially in the food. So what should you eat when you're here in Bolzen or Bolzano? Well, what we're going to talk about is going to sound like I'm doing a video on Austrian and German food when we're actually in Italy. So let's get started. And I think it's really important, if we're going to walk around, we need to grab a snack when we're here. And obviously, if you see a pretzel as you go by, you'll see it in the bakeries, you'll see it on some of the stands around town, you'll see these big old pretzels, the pretzel, and you grab one of those. So good, so nice, so easy to have. If you got little kids and you're in your stroller, just give that to them and they'll gnaw on that and enjoy it all day long. Those are fantastic to have when you're here. Also, if you're going to be going to a restaurant, you'll see restaurants here, and yes, we're still in Italy, so you'll see pasta and pizza when you're here. They'll have that, but let's be honest, you didn't come here just to snack on some pretzels. You want to know the real food. When I sit down in those restaurants, what can I have when I'm here? Well, yes, we still are in Italy, so you can get the pizza and pasta, so that's still here, but that's not what you really want. You want that Austrian Germanic food when you're here, and one of the big things you're going to see are the knödel, or the dumplings, when you are here. And there's various types of dumplings that you're going to have, like you might have them in a soup, or you might have the bread dumplings. I know I had spinach dumplings, which was spinach and bread together dumpling on top of some, sauerkraut, and that was super good, so you have that. Obviously, if you're talking about anything Austrian, we always bring up Wiener Schnitzel. Yes, Liam had that for lunch today with some pommes, some French fries when you're here. Now, another thing you might see on the menu is called Schpetzel, and Schpetzel, or Schpetzel, is basically, it's a noodle, and it's not like it's a pasta noodle, but it's not like pasta. When you think of pasta, it's a different kind of noodle that you see throughout Germany and Austria. They have that here, and it's got some cheese with it usually to make it good for some Käsespätzle. But one of the things you do want to have when you are here, and this is what all my Italian friends told me to have when I was coming here, they said you got to get Speck. And Speck is just basically cured pork. It looks like a big piece of uncooked bacon, basically, and it is so good. You actually can get it for a starter when you're going out, and so you can have that, but that's something you really should have when you're here. And it might pop up on your pizza menu as well if you want to go for the pizza side of thing, or it might pop up with your pasta or your risotto as well. So just FYI. Now, they also have Tirolian Ravioli here, or you call them Schlutzkrapfen, and basically it'll be different kind of ravioli. It could be with cheese, could be with meat, could be with mushrooms, could be with Speck. Because Speck will pop up, so you have that option here. And that Speck, like I said, might be in an appetizer plate, but also a nice kind of appetizer or something you might want to grab when you're here to enjoy on your travels. Is actually some of the cheeses here, because the Alpine region cheeses are fantastic here in the Dolomites. You might find yourself in Alta Bari or a Bello Baglia or a South Tyrol Graukäse. Yes, a gray cheese. There's lots of different kinds of cheeses when you're here. So if you can get kind of like a cheese pletta or a cheese board when you are here, it's going to give you a nice variety of cheeses when you're here. And when you're having that cheese, nothing goes better with cheese than some wine. And when you're taking the train in here to Bolzano, you will see vineyard after vineyard after vineyard, grapevine after grapevine after grapevine, all over the place. And you can do wine tours when you're here, which is really cool. But you have different wines you want to have when you're here. Now, the white wines are probably more famous, but they're not the only ones that are here. But the white wines like the Rieslings, the Gewürztraminer, those are the ones that are kind of popular. If you're going for a red wine, you have the St. Magdalena, which was okay. I like the Lagrein a bit better for the reds. That's what I had with my lunch today. Jocelyn had the Magdalena, and we both agreed that the Lagrein was better. But you have so many different wines you can have when you're here. And another thing that's kind of interesting is if you're looking for some of the best beer in Italy, it actually comes from around Bolzano, and one of the kind of local beers from up around here is Faust, which is actually my favorite beer to get when I am here in Italy. No matter where I'm in Italy, if they have it, that's the beer I go for. You can get that on tap here, which is wonderful, but there's a lot of other beers you can have when you're here. And I would be remiss if I don't talk about the hot dog stands or the Wurst stands that are around here in Bolzano, because you can get Käsekleiner. This is my favorite bratwursty kind of thing. It's got a little just extra bit of cheesy deliciousness in there. You can obviously grab the pretzels like Liam did. They've got hot dogs. They have Weisswurst, which is white sausage. That's always good, but you get all kinds of good stuff when you're here or when you're on the go. So don't forget to grab these too when you're eating here in Bolzano, okay? And if you want to get some kind of local snacky doos when you're walking around, if you're by Wolterplatz, when you're down there, there's the Lecker Cafe you can go into, and they have the little Schnitzel, little cuts of like cakes and stuff you can have. And I think that's another thing you really need to have when you're here. You need to stop in a bakery and get some of the cakes and pastries they have here, because it's very much more of like Austria with their not pies, but the cakes and torts you have like in a Vienna cafe. You have those things here, and of course you can get your strudels when you're here and enjoy that. The Sacator, yes, you can get that here as well. But you have all these great cafes you can go to and have your coffee and have your fantastic cakes. Oh, it's so good. But you just want to grab and go, there's tons of bakeries for you to enjoy when you're here, okay? So if you're coming to go see Otzi the Iceman, or you're coming to hike the Dolomites, or you're going to see some of the crazy castles around here, these are the foods you should have when you come to Bolzano. So I hope this helps you out. What are some other good foods you need to have when you're here in Bolzano? Put it down in the comment section below so people can have more fantastic food when they're in this fantastic town. Bye from Bolzano.